Bianca Jones, who is currently working as a primary teacher. So, Bianca, can you give us a brief of your education?
Sure. So I went to a school in Australia called CareerZ, and I was sent on exchange to Cody. So I was a student at Cody for 6 months. After my exchange in Australia, I completed my Year 12 certificate, and then I went on to do a bachelor's degree and 2 master's degrees. So one in a Master's of Education and the other one in a Master's of Special Education, so majoring in children with autism and disabilities as well.
And dealing with kids. Is your education helping you dealing with kids?
A mixture of both. So my education obviously helped me with how to work with children. It gave me a lot of insight, a lot of knowledge in that area. But I like to think that my experience, so before teaching, I was a Taekwondo instructor. So I did a lot of work with children. When I was in Cody, I got to experience a lot of volunteer hours at local orphanages and local areas with some children as well. So I got to experience children from various cultures, obviously various needs and wants. And I think a lot of that background work was really helpful as well. It was really helpful for me to be able to get into my degree. And they look at both, of course, your results, but also your experience in the field. And so a lot of my work with children throughout my high school years and beyond is what sort of really assisted me in that area. And now as a teacher, a bit of life experience mixed with a bit of education is definitely helpful.
That's really interesting too. So, what advice would you have for children who are looking to be a teacher soon, or just in general who are looking to deal with kids?
Yeah, of
Uh,
course.
uh,
I'd probably say try to get some experience. So if there's some volunteer sort of opportunities around you, whether that be in a school assisting, or that might be at an orphanage, or it might be just babysitting your neighbour's children. So trying to get in as much experience as you can working with younger kids. A lot of schools, I know in Australia, obviously I can't speak for other countries, but in Australia a lot of schools are quite happy to have some assistance in there, especially if it's a school student looking to go into that field. Obviously there's the usual, there's the babysitting, there's the assisting family with the younger children, but I think if you have a bit of experience working with kids, then you know that that's the area you want to go into. And if you can't work with kids for a couple of hours at a time, I probably wouldn't go into teaching because you've got a full day. But if you love working with kids, then it's a really great work in full time, I think.
Great. So many students in India are interested in studying abroad. So why don't you tell us how it was like to study in Australia?
Sure. I don't have much to compare it to, but for me, I found the Australian education system pretty easy to sort of understand. You come in and you do a bachelor's degree, and that's usually of anything. So I did a Bachelor of Psychology. It wasn't even related to teaching. So it was a Bachelor of Psychology majoring in children, but it wasn't my teaching degree. And then I was given the opportunity after that to go and do a Masters of Teaching to get me into that teaching because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. But my best friend, who's also a teacher, went straight into a Bachelor of Teaching, and she did her 3-year degree and was a teacher, whereas for me it took 5. So I think it really depends on what you want to do, but Australia has a really great education system. It can be expensive, but it is still, it's still a really good education. You can study anywhere in our country. So any state, any territory all have their own universities. I'm in Melbourne, so we've got many universities. For my 3 degrees, I went to 3 separate unis. So it's not like you have to be stuck in one, etc. You can move around. You can try the other types. But the way of life here is really great. They, of course, offer for people to live at the universities and stuff like that, which I think is really beneficial. But yeah, so I had a great experience in Australia, but I don't have much to compare it to. So here's hoping it's been good for others as well.